All right, we are live. I'm going to go ahead and stop my music here. So good to have you guys here. Welcome to our first workshop of 2025. Hope you guys are having a killer 2025 already. It's already like halfway through January. Can you guys even believe it that we are here so far? And it's going to be exciting. We are pumped as a team. We've got a awesome mission together to help creators like you generate $1 million in 2025. That is our goal. We have set everything that we are building on to help you guys make collectively make $1 million in 2025. So every feature, every workshop, everything we're putting together, this is all going to be to help you guys succeed, to launch, to grow. So that is what we're here to do. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Bruce Van Zale. I'm the founder of Tribe Social, and let me jump in. I'll show you a couple quick slides here. Let's see. Okay, let's jump to this. There we go. That's us. That's me and my wife Lindsay and our daughter Hannah. And we actually just had our second baby. Eliana was born just at the end of December. So super excited. We are now a family of four, five if you count the dog sitting on my foot right now. And we are in Nashville and super excited. We've been helping launch people, serving founders, serving creators for the last 14 years. And we were very passionate about helping people get their online message out, help disciple, help mentor, help train people in something that is your unique gifting and ability. And definitely, we 100% believe that you have something unique. You have a unique breakthrough. You have a unique people that you are called to reach, and we are here to help support you in that message. That may be a free workshop like this. It may be us helping you with things down the road, but we're here to help support you in that mission, and excited to do that. So take a second. If you guys are ready to get started, drop an emoji in the chat. Give me a fire emoji, a heart, something, just to know you guys are alive. I'm going to try to help and keep you guys engaged. Um, Super excited to have all of you guys here. So, uh, gonna jump in and share a little bit about what we're talking about today. So, give me 1 second to get all the slides here, just positioned just right. I can see you guys. I don't want to not see all of your faces. So, there we go. Sweet. So, uh, if this is just kind of who this is for, if you're a business owner, you already have a business, you already have a product, you have a service, but you're wanting to add additional income or add consistent revenue, you can do that. If you're already a coach, maybe you've helped people one-on-one, maybe you've coached people or discipled people, but now you're thinking of like, how do I help coach, be a life coach, be a coach in business, something like that, you can, this is for you. Or if you're an author or speaker, and you've written a book or you talk at places or you've done something really awesome and significant, uh, this is for you. This is going to be a place where you guys can gather. We, like I said, are for creators. So creators are anyone that is taking some unique message and they're getting it out into the world. And so if you have something in your heart, you have a message, you have some sort of skill, you're like, I bet I could teach people how to do this thing. I bet I could teach people how to scale their business, learn a new instrument. It can be anything, like how to find peace. There's so many options of what this could turn into. So what this talk is not going to be, though, I can guarantee you, is that it is not going to be a one-person monologue. It's going to be interactive. I want to hear from you guys. We will take comments. We'll want to hear your feedback. We'll at the end of this, we are going to take some time to do some hot seats. This is not a Q&A. This is a hot seat. Let's talk about what you're trying to do. I'm going to try to give you guys some value in that. And so it's going to be very interactive. You're going to hear from some of the other creators here. And I will also say, if you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, if you're watching on X, Twitter, jump onto the link that was with this and jump into the Zoom call, okay? Because we'd love to have you guys live with us now. And of course, if you're watching the replay, we love our replay audience as well. So you can always comment wherever you're watching. Okay, this is also not a passive income get rich quick thing. I think you guys know that. And I want to say this is not for Gen Z or millennials only. Um, some of the fastest growing groups, social accounts, even on like places like TikTok and Instagram, are actually in that 50 plus audience, and we've seen hundreds of people that we've helped coach over the years, over 50, just get thousands and thousands of views, get thousands of followers. So this is not something that is just for Gen Z or millennials. In fact, we actually think there's something really unique that the previous generation has to share with people on these new digital platforms. Okay, so again, you can see we're super passionate about helping that generation help get their wisdom, their knowledge down into the people who are on social media, who are that's kind of how they're consuming content. Um, Gonna try not to bore you with any geeky techno babble today, although I could do that all day long if you guys want to. But we're going to keep this very non-technical. I'm going to give you practical step-by-step instructions on how to do this and hopefully provide some value to you. So I'm going to be real with you. I'm not going to show you like the before and then this amazing after. Sometimes we see those Instagram uh, posts where it's just all perfect and everybody's dressed right and the music's right and the lighting's just right and you're like, wow, that person's life is incredible. And then they kind of cut to like what it looks like in real life. And that's what we're going to talk about here. We're also going to talk about the messy middle. So I want to show you kind of where we've done what's worked well, of course, and then like what didn't work, like where do we get stuck, and hopefully try to help you guys avoid hitting those same pitfalls and give you guys a shortcut. So um, right here, we're going to jump in. I'm going to talk about first about crushing some limiting beliefs for you guys, just some mindset things that you maybe are running into, things that I was definitely running into when we launched. And honestly, let's be honest, these some of these limiting beliefs, it was so funny because I was struggling with this yesterday, putting this talk together. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to have enough to say. I wonder if anyone's going to show up. Like all these things. And I'm like, this is just no matter how many times you do this, there's some beliefs there that we want to crush, and I want to. So I was like, we're going to start with this and knock those things out. Um, I did say we're going to give you a 4-week plan here on how you can go from having just an idea to then turning that into income. And we've seen this happen multiple times, and we've done it multiple times. We've supported creators doing this, where you go from an idea to making at least $10,000 in 30 days. There's something magical about that number where it just kind of, you're like, oh, wow, like that would be life changing to have that. And I'll be honest, like if you get someone to give you $1 online, it's going to change your life. If a stranger that you've never met, doesn't know who you are, jumps on and they buy a $5 product from you or a $10 thing, it's going to change your life because you're like, wow, if this stranger can trust me, I may have something here, and it's going to just create a ton of momentum for you guys. So that is going to be, Tada, we're going to show you exactly how to launch your online community and generate 10K in 30 days. And then at the end, I'm going to show you some more tools, some more resources. We have tons of things. This is obviously a free workshop. We've got tons of extra resources, some software things we can show you, and we're excited. Yeah, so do what Joe just did. Let's drop launch. If you are ready to launch in 2025, drop launch in the chat. I'd love to see who's planning on launching in the next while. Awesome. Let's go. Um, okay, so we're gonna talk 3 lies. These are 3 lies that I'll say that I personally believed when I was getting into this, and I've had to overcome these things, and we spent a lot on coaching and mentors and just a lot of time invested in trying to help like fix some of these things. And it always comes down to mindset. People think like you're gonna join a program and they're gonna give you this magic tool that if you just hit these 3 buttons, then like everything's going to work out great. And I'm going to have 10,000 people following me and it's going to be so easy. That doesn't really happen. It is something that it's always comes down to like a mindset. And some of these bigger masterminds and the more you spend on coaching programs, they don't really talk tactics anymore. They actually only talk mindset. And that's where people kind of get limited. And a lot of the thinking of where we're stuck most of the time, it's just where we are, right? If we were honest, we'd realize that most of the time, like where the growth is being held back, it's probably not the algorithm. It probably isn't the economy. It probably isn't the fact that there's an election happening. And we can make up all these reasons of why things may not work out for us. Um, But honestly, we just have to kind of realize that it is just what we believe about ourselves and what we believe about the future. If we have an abundant mindset, if we have going into this with like, hey, I'm going to do this, and it's forget 10K, like this, that's just going to be my starting point, right? Um, and but a lot of times we come into these things with scarcity. Oh, well, only one person's going to sign up. Only, uh, it's going to be small. There's not the world like there's not enough people in this very tight niche that that will listen to me or even and never mind pay me to hear what I have to say. So the first thing is that, and I'll put my slides back up here, is that you don't have anything to say. Okay. Maybe you're thinking I'm not an expert. Other people are already teaching what I know. And this is 100% a lie because we kind of see the world through this fake social media filter where we get onto our feed and we see that there are all these people that on topics that we're interested in that are already teaching the exact thing that I would want to teach. And that's called the algorithm. It knows what you like, it knows your interests, and so it's going to put all that on your feed so that it keeps you on the platform and it keeps you engaged. But you have to realize that that is a very, very distorted view of what is actually going on in the world. The world is a much, much bigger place. And I love this stat from Amazon. Um, I think there was like only 2 or 3% of the world have ever bought anything off Amazon. So almost everybody in the world has never bought anything on Amazon. And Amazon, I don't know if you know, is like one of the biggest online retailers, right? It's insanely how and big. And so it just puts it in perspective that we kind of see these things like an Amazon, and we're just like, well, everybody buys on Amazon now. Truth is, almost nobody buys. In fact, it's a single digit percentage that actually have bought anything on Amazon ever. And so we just have a very distorted view because we see it through the filter of our social network, our social feed, and that is just 100% a lie. The truth is that you have some sort of breakthrough, that you have broken through into something. That's what the word breakthrough means. It means that you had something that was a struggle, you figured something out, and then you had something to show on the other side. You broke through from one thing into another, from one reality into another. You upgraded in some way. Maybe you changed uh, careers. Maybe you learned a new instrument. Maybe you learned a new skill. Maybe you learned how to use AI. It could be anything. There's a thousand things that you could have had a breakthrough in that other people are kind of on this journey and they just need help knowing kind of where to go. So this is a great little graph. If you haven't read the book Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, highly recommend it. But his concept here is that you are this expert. You kind of have something. You've climbed to this uh, place. And I love that this is not the top of a mountain. This is just one milestone. And a lot of times, like you guys may be thinking, hey, I've made it to this. Let's say like my goal is to make $10,000, right? But you've only made $5,000. You're like, well, I can't teach people how to make money at all because I haven't hit $10,000, right? We have these imaginary milestones that, well, when I can do this, then I'll have permission. Or I haven't finished my book, so I can't start coaching on it because I don't have my book finished. These are just excuses. You can start helping people. You already have the knowledge. You can start training people. You don't have to have this perfect idea of like hitting this mountaintop because honestly, it doesn't actually exist. Um, if you had like something where you wanted to teach people how to grow on social media, but you only had 10,000 people. As soon as you hit 10,000 people, you're immediately going to want to hit 20 and then 50 and then 100K and then a million followers. So it's an infinite game. So you just kind of have to like pick up and say, hey, there's people that I can help. Maybe where I was 3 months ago, maybe where I was 6 months ago. It doesn't have to be something that you have a decade of experience in because most people just need that help because guess what, you probably didn't have that help when you were going through that time. So you kind of just think of it like what would have been awesome for me is that if I was changing careers or I was struggling with a divorce or I was struggling with this, people have these things that they had to like work through and process. Man, it would have been so great to have this type of person in my life to share. So just think about that. So you have some sort of expert, you have this opportunity, you're like helping people get to this thing, and then there's some kind of future-based cause of like, hey, we want to build a community that is, living in peace. We have a community that's like musicians who are making money in, with their craft. We want to have like this idea where photographers are like, crushing it in the industry. Um, so pick those things. I'll just give you guys some inspiration there. Um, I'm going to keep this really short. I'm going to put this up for just a second. If you're watching the replay, you can do this. You can pause it. I highlight, take a second here, like take 5 minutes and just kind of think through like what are some areas of personal breakthrough that you've experienced in your life. It could be overcoming an obstacle, a career change, some sort of skill, hobby. Just list them out. Okay. You can keep doing that. I'm going to move right on because I do want to get through a ton today. I want to talk about my friend Bo, who started Bravo Golf over a post-dinner conversation that he and I were having. And he said, hey, one day I'm going to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars and I'm going to go launch this new watch for pilots. And so we talked a little bit and I was like, well, why don't we just start? Like, why don't you just start now, like with no money, right? And he had this vision like, hey, well, when I have time, because we all at one point we have this magical season in our life where we're just going to have infinite amount of time, right? That doesn't tend to happen. um, he's like, when I have time and then all the everything lines perfectly, I'm going to raise all this money and then I'm going to go build this huge brand. So he said, well, why don't you start building it now with nothing and then you can grow. And he launched some Facebook ads. He had 1,800 pilots respond and give him feedback on like on what his watch. Guess what? He didn't have a watch. Like he didn't have a product. He barely like he just created the name for the company, created the Facebook account, and started promoting it. And he was very real. He wasn't fake. He wasn't lying about it. He didn't say I have a product and didn't. He said, "Hey, I'm pilot. I'm thinking of making a watch. Like, does anyone want to help me? Give some feedback." Like he was just very real, and he had 1,800 pilots like give them their email address and then take time to fill out a survey to tell them exactly what they wanted in a watch. So he found his people and his breakthrough. He was a pilot that now has gone into business, so he was able to like help this very unique group of people with something that they struggle at. And anyway, it's a very tight niche. It's pilots who are really into watches, who live in the US. Like it's a very tight niche. This is not a ton of people. Um, and so anyway, that's the first case study. Super proud of him. He's still growing 3 years later, and it's going great. Number two, no one will show up to my event. No one will show up to my challenge. Hey, I'm going to create this event like I just did today. We have a free workshop. And this is literally something I was like thinking about last night. I was like, did we do enough promotion? Did we spend enough on Facebook ads? Did we get the landing page and the emails all just right? What if like nobody shows up? That would be so awkward that I'd be standing here talking to my awesome EA, Macy, and teaching her for the 100th time how to launch a community. And so, but no, here there's 30 people and there's like 40 other people watching on the other platform. So this is great. Like you never know who's going to show up, but if you start again with scarcity, it's it's just a downward spiral. Okay, you got to start with like, hey, well, what if a lot of people show up? What if like one person shows up and it totally changes their life and they go off and make? Then you know what? It's actually worth it for that one person. It's kind of a different perspective change here. So, um, with that, like you're worried about maybe putting a lot of effort in, not seeing the results you want to see, and ideally, what we've found, the things that work the best when you're doing some type of event or you're like in asking people to kind of join your community or your thing, the smaller, super engaged group of people is way more valuable than just having hundreds of people that are like semi engaged and don't really give you the time. So just know that this can be very successful with 10 people showing up, 20 people showing up. It doesn't have to have like hundreds or thousands of people there. So again, this could be anything. I said challenge. It could be a workshop. It could be online event. It could be a virtual event or just a live training. You could take a second real quick if you want. Um, this is kind of unique because we talk about like how to niche down in some of our other training. You can watch that if you want. But take some time because a lot of this depends on like niching down to a very specific person. So you can take time, write down 10 people that you know you would love to serve. These could be like clients, they could be a friend, a family member, like put their name and just kind of listed out like, oh, I'd love to be able to serve, uh, Luis, Michael, like Deborah, like put these names down, like, oh, because, and you can kind of describe like, oh, well, all these people have this in common. They're all dads, or they're all, parents of young kids. They all live in this area. So just kind of like start to list it out, because a lot of times it's easy to think like, oh, well, if I did all this, I would love to serve someone like, Michael. It's hard to be like, just go into the world and to my Facebook, following, and just be like, I want to serve everybody. That's very difficult to launch with that. So um, you can do that later. I'll mention as well, we launched Kingdom Messengers with my wife, Lindsay here. This is a screenshot of our very first ad. I think we had less than $1,000 in all of our combined accounts at this time. This was back in 2021, 2022, I think, 2021. And I had less than $1,000, and I took $300 of that and I put it into ads. And one thing led to another. We had about 250 people give us $30, as we made about $10,000 just selling tickets to our first event. And then at that event, we sold 19 people into like a $2,500 offer. So we made about $70,000 in like 3 weeks. We had no following on Instagram. We had no following on Facebook. These are brand new social media accounts that we launched with. And that's what happened on our first one. And this was us figuring it out for the first time, and not, having some mentors, but not having someone to like step us through the individual pieces. We had to kind of make it up as we went. um, cool. And very good. So jumping into number three, I want to get through these fast because I want to still get to like the tactics of the 4-week plan for you guys. If you guys are enjoying this, just let me know, like drop something in the chat. I'll try to watch it as well. um, Very, very cool to see everybody's feedback here. And we'll jump into three. So I don't have time or the tech knowledge to manage this type of like this type of group, right? Obviously, we all want more time. Honestly, we obviously want, to know more about the tech, but the reality is that there's a lot of very simple ways to do this, where it could be as simple as you DMing a friend on Instagram, them hopping on a Zoom call, and like joining a community where you just join a Zoom call every Monday at 10. This doesn't have to be tech complicated. It could be an in-person. We have someone in our Pioneer program that is thinking of just doing an in-person community. Like they're just gonna have people over to their house. Like it doesn't get any less like non-techy than that. Like just invite people over, serve coffee, and and then just help build that community. So you may be thinking of lies like, I'm not tech savvy, I don't have time to figure this all out. Managing a community sounds like a ton of work, and I don't have like a team, or I'm just by myself. I'm already overwhelmed. I can't add one more thing to my plate. So the truth is that it actually doesn't require you to be a tech expert. You can use some very simple tools out there to keep it running kind of on autopilot. And then you just have to spend a couple hours a week on this once you get it dialed in. Um, my friend Andrew Daniels had this idea. We got connected. This is a total stranger off of Twitter that I met. We started chatting. We got on a Zoom call, and we decided to do an event together like this. And we had about almost 800 people sign up for the live event. About 250 people were watching this workshop with us, and then 6 people bought this 3K offer that we had. So we made about $18,000 for the 3 weeks of work. And he is running an insanely busy agency, and we were running our big agency and software and all the things that we're doing. And we were able to just like add this on top of what we were doing for like a couple hours extra a week. It really is doable. Um, and yeah, and that's it. And just mentioned down here as well, like the idea of niching down. This is a super tight niche, like developers who own their agency, who like building mobile apps using a tool called Flutterflow. Like it's super niche. It was just for that one niche market, and I think it did pretty well. So I'll take a quick second here. I did want to show you guys one really cool resource. If you guys haven't jumped into our uh, um, creator community here, you can hop on. We'll drop a link maybe down here to just quickly get to it, and I'll pull this up real quick for you guys. But if you jump in, there's a feed. We actually have a community for you guys. There's 560 of us in here, and we'd love for you to just jump in, go live, introduce yourself. This is 100% free. Someone asked about replays. Yes, this replay is going to be in here later today. You can connect with other members in here. So if you saw someone on a Zoom call and you wanted to search for them and start a direct message, you could do that. There's some other resources that we've been adding here as well. So take a second while we're doing this. We'll drop the link to get to that. And some of you probably saw it when you were registering that you could jump in. So I just want to make sure you guys saw that because this call will be over in 30 to 40 minutes. And then I'd love to have you guys have resources after today and be able to connect with each other mainly. So there we go. Um, so yes, you can access for your training. There's also an app as well. If you don't want to miss anything that we're doing, download the mobile app and jump on as well in the community, and you'll get push notifications so you can see that. Awesome. Okay, so the last thing I want to just kind of cover is this 4-week action plan. So I'm just going to show you I'm kind of giving you guys like access to our like we have a coaching program that we did, and I just went in and stole what I thought was some of the best slides that we had. And this is on our like paid, coaching program. I just pulled the best slides. I pulled them into this presentation. I was like, I'll just give this away for free today. So this is something that we do cover in our paid coaching program, but I want to give this to you because I think if you guys know the steps, I think you can go and execute on this, um, just kind of knowing what the plan is. Okay, so this main slide is pretty much everything uh, of how we would launch something like this. We take a week to strategize, a week to kind of build all the pieces you need, get kind of dial in registration, who's this for, and then go into get your offer ready of like, cool, I'm going to have a coaching group, it's going to be a subscription, or it's going to be a boot camp, it's going to be a whatever intensive. And then the last fourth week is just launching. Now, yes, you can take 4 weeks. You can take 2 weeks to do all this. If this is your full-time gig, like you could do it in a week. Like this is not super difficult. I wouldn't. The goal is like don't take more than 4 weeks. And I'll say this for you guys, like when you're building with anything new, the best thing that you can do is give yourself tons of opportunity to have kind of like plenty of opportunities to try. So if you can do this in 4 weeks, like you have 12 potential times that you can do this over and over again this year. And I guarantee if you did 12 of these launches, 4-week launches, like you are going to find success. Like you are going to hit something that just works because you had you took 12 tries at it instead of just like this one big thing. And I will challenge you guys, like don't wait for that one big thing. This is one of those, again, kind of a back to a mindset thing, is like we have this vision in mind, like, well, when I finish this book, I'm gonna like hold it back. I'm not gonna tell anyone about it, and then I'm just gonna like blast it out there, and it's gonna be a New York Times bestseller. That doesn't really happen. Maybe it will, but odds are it probably won't. But instead, think of like, how can I like, I don't haven't even finished the book, but how can I like bring people along through the journey? How can I like, I already know kind of what the book's about. I've done the outline, like start teaching it in a class, like start showing people how to do it. Like you may have a skill, like you know how to play an instrument, right? Like just take that and just be like start like if you just turned on your camera and started teaching people, something is going to come out, right? Because you have that breakthrough, you have that skill and ability. You don't have to like sit there and build a course by any means. Like please stop waiting to build a course to launch this type of stuff. Like a lot of people are trying to get their course just dialed in and no one's seen it, no one's following them, they don't know no one knows about it. But instead, like just launch and step out. When we did that first Kingdom Messengers group, we did not have a course. Instead, we sold a 90-day coaching program, and then each week on Zoom, I turned on Zoom, I hit record, and we just taught for like 45 minutes, and that then got cut up, and we turned it into a course after it. But this is on like first people paid us, right? This is okay to do. Like you guys have to kind of be confident in your skill. Like a bunch of people paid us for like we didn't tell them it wasn't a course. We just said, hey, we're going to be recording the course, and you guys get to be the live audience with us while we do it. Made it a feature, not a bug, and that's what we did. We jumped in and we allowed people like just to let whatever we had in us just kind of overflow and share that breakthrough with people. And so by the end of it, we did have a course. We did have a nice curriculum and things like that. But don't wait for that stuff to start. Okay. Um, Off my soapbox now. You guys know we're passionate about starting. We're going to push you to start. So that's kind of the plan. I'm going to walk through these weeks really quick. In the first week, just figuring out who your target audience is, cover this a little bit, niched on something that's very, very specific. Like, what is the target audience I want to help? Like, oh, I want to help millennials who are moms with kids under 3 who live in, Tennessee. Be specific, like, get it as specific as you can. One of my friends, um, Jessie, she has this she she has this Spanish speaking content where she did um, calligraphy like for scripture verses for Christians who speak Spanish who know this is very like specific type of calligraphy, and it's insanely niche basically. And she went on like a Facebook Live and did a challenge like this. I think she had something close to like 20,000 live viewers when she was doing this, and you're like, because it just pulled tons of people in. Like it was so specific that she was sharing like this very tight niche, and that is very possible. Don't try to. You can't really niche too small. Most people are trying to speak to too many people. Like, oh, I want to help men lose 20 pounds. Like that's not going to work. I want to help dads who are busy, who own their own business, who are in their 30s, who have kids that are under 5. I want them help them lose 20 pounds. Like, okay, we're getting there. It could probably still be more niche down, but we're getting there. Like, it's more specific because if you start talking to those people online, they will identify themselves like, hey, wait, I'm a dad and I own a business and I have little kids. This is like made for me. Like, I need to be in this. Um, so that's it. So target, breakthrough, and then just kind of taking an audit of everything that you have. Like maybe you have some people following you. Maybe you did write a book. Maybe you did, record a course. Like kind of look at everything you've got and kind of see if everything kind of lines up and what can you use to leverage for this. Week 2, um, and I typically say this at the end of week 1. Part of your week 1 assignment is actually to go ahead and schedule your event. So this, you put the goal, you draw the target on the tree, like where you want it to be going. Pick that date. And some of you, you could pick your date on this call, like in the next like 45 minutes. Like go to your calendar on your phone or your paper calendar and just like this date, circle it. I'm doing an event. I don't know who it's for. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what I'm selling. I don't know what I'm even going to ask for. Like, I don't know if anyone's going to show up, but just like you put the date there and just work backwards. So, schedule your events, super important. We encourage you guys to set up a free group. We'll talk about some tools that you can use to do that. Welcome post. This is getting kind of the details, but the end of that second week is where you want to start promoting. Okay, so the first 1 or 2 weeks, it's kind of all under the surface. After that, it's just all public. Like you're announcing to people, I'm doing this thing. 2 weeks out, I'm doing this thing, and we found about 1 to 2 weeks it's kind of that sweet spot. If you do it any earlier, it actually doesn't really help at all. You just kind of frustrate people because they sign up for something and then you have to wait 2 or 3 weeks to actually get the thing. So, um, and some of you, like we decided to do this last week and we only started promoting it on Monday. So that's totally fine. You can do that. Um, Okay, week 3, we're just kind of figuring out your offer. And an offer is just something that you're going to invite people into. It's your program, it's the product you're selling. This is going to be like an informational product, right? You're going to have access to a community. You're going to have access to this to you as kind of the expert or the coach or the leader. Um, and you're just figuring out what that is. You got to figure out what you want to charge for it. You do want to charge for it, of course. There's a I'll just take a second on this because some of you guys I know are coming from like faith backgrounds and everything is for free. And so this is how I grew up in church and realized that like, oh, if you grow up in this way, like you just expect to get help from people, mentorship from people, and that's just kind of what people do. They kind of expect to get it for free. It's not really how the world works. And um, there's a lot of value when me as the person who wants to get coached, I actually invest and pay someone else. Some of that breakthrough just comes like someone said like the transformation comes in the transaction, like by them just paying and saying, you know what, I'm worth investing in my business. I'm worth like investing in my future and my skills to grow this. And we have, this was a huge mindset thing for us. 2019, I'd never paid a dollar for any coach, any course, anything, and didn't even know the coaching industry was a thing. We had been running our business for 9 years, 9 years, no coaching and mentorship. Um, and then I got an ad for someone, some of you guys know, Pedro Adeo. I got this ad for this crazy looking guy who was talking about like business and church and kingdom, and I was like, this looks so cheesy. I don't know what this is. This is a waste. And he was like offering for $19, you can jump on a 10-day uh, live coaching thing with him for like a group coaching. And I was like, nah, this is silly. And I sat there for 45 minutes thinking about whether this was worth it. And at the end of the day, I was like, well, I know there's this one talk by a speaker I knew. I'm gonna like buy it. And then oh, he had a money back guarantee. This is how small, talk about scarcity thinking, $19. I was like, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that talk. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to get listen to that talk. And if it's not that good, I'm going to ask my money back. And then I'm just going to get like that's that's literally how sad it was. And I find it took after 45 minutes, I like put my credit card in, bought the thing. Um, on the second page, it was like an upsell. So it was like, hey, would you also like a 30-minute one-on-one session with Pedro for $95? I was like, this guy is insane. $95? Like, that is so dumb. Like, not Pedro charges like $100,000 now to get like to spend a day with him for the reference. And I was like, this is silly. Like, who does he think he is? $95. Get that out of here. So jumped on. Of course, it like changed our life. We obviously needed a coach and a mentor in our life. And we've just continued to invest. We've spent well over, 6 figures on coaching over the last couple of years. And I always kind of prided myself, to be honest, like in not having an education. Like I did about 2.5 years of college and doing my business degree. I'd also started my business. We were also getting, I was engaged to Lindsay, and I was like, this is just, you know what, school's not really working out for me that well. And one day I talked to my parents. They were like, it's up to you. You can decide. And I just stopped going. I didn't email anyone. I didn't say anything. I just stopped going. I think that's probably the worst way to leave school. So, who even knows like what what admin nightmare I caused for some people back there. But um, and then I would just always do business, and I was like, kind of like wore it as like a badge of honor that like I didn't have, to finish college and I could still start my business. But ironically, I just tell that story because now like I've spent, I think I calculated it's like probably the price of like a Harvard MBA degree on all these coaching programs. So I feel like it's a little bit of sense of humor from Lord on that. So pretty funny. Okay, getting sidetracked. So let's jump into the offer. Make it irresistible. Make it something people can't say no to. Like price it in such a way that like it's just insane value. And if you want to be generous and you're like, well, I just really would do it for free. Well, like put tons of things in there to make it more valuable. Like keep the price as is, but then just add a lot more to it to make it more valuable. Just thinking of all the different pieces that you would need to help someone reach that end goal. If you're trying to help them lose uh, 20 pounds, like that example of losing weight, like, well, here's maybe like a PDF, a meal plan that I'm going to include as part of this offer. Here is like my list of like favorite gyms to attend to, or here's the questions to ask a gym to like see if it's a good fit for you. Um, some of these things are just information. Like you can create this stuff out of nothing, but if you're trying to get figure out your meal plan because you want to lose 20 pounds, like just having these resources, it makes your offer incredibly valuable. Okay, so that's it. And then of course the last thing, just launch. Like keep promoting it even after you start. Host an event. You can use something as simple as Zoom. um, Teach people, give stuff away for free. Like I'm, it's kind of a little bit of a training inception here because you guys are here, you get it. Like you're on the call. Like we're just giving away a ton of stuff for free to help you guys out. Okay, so to do that, um, and then at the end, make an offer. Like let people you could irritate people by not having a good next step. Like if you got people fired up about like once you like here's so and so they lost 20 pounds, this person lost 20 pounds, here's how it's changed their life, this is so excited, cool, see ya, like hope that helped, and then like just disappear. It's actually not responsible because you have like inspired people to do something and then you don't actually have a follow through for them. So um, don't feel like, well, I'm going to be like, extra generous and kind and just not let people. Actually, being kind would be like give people like an action plan on where to go. Okay. So that's the launch. Super quick, strategize, build, get your offer together, launch, 4 weeks. I think all of you guys can do that. That's our 4 week action plan that we have in our program. And I want to take a second as well. So if that's good, guys, just let me know that you guys are live and listening in the chat here. Um, we're going to jump into some hot seats, and I'd love to take some time, help you specifically with where you're at. A lot of times when we help one person, like we're something where they're stuck, um, then a lot of people are also stuck in that same space. So it typically helps a lot of different people. The way that we do like to do Q&A, some of you guys submitted questions ahead of time, so I'm going to just jump into those real quick. And then also you can use the reactions here to put up your hand. So it'll actually like raise your hand, and that'll help queue it up in my Zoom here, so I know I can see you and see who wants to go. We'll probably take a couple people. I don't mind staying. There's like less than 30 of us here, so I'm totally happy to hang out here and get all your questions answered. Before I do that, I would love to tell you guys about Tribe Social, because that is something that we are super passionate about. Like I said at the beginning, if you missed it, our team and I, like, we are here in 2025 to help creators and pioneers just like you make over $1 million collectively this year, not in a few years, this year. That's our goal. We want to help you guys make money doing the thing that you're an expert at. And so to do that, we have created a program called our Tribe Social Pioneer Program. So if it's okay with you, let me know in the comments. Just give me a thumbs up. Like, is it cool if I show you guys that real quick for 2 minutes? And then I'm going to jump into the hot seats. Is that good? Sweet. Thank you guys. I don't like to not ask for permission. So um, we have the program here. We've essentially put everything you need. We have our background is software development. In 2020, we launched a pro started building Tribe Social. We just felt like it was time to have like our own platform. People can host their own communities like Facebook. We've been building this thing for coming on like 5 years or 4.5 years or whatever from that. And we've learned a lot. We've been blessed to work with some of the biggest creators and influencers out there to help them build their tech. And so this is something that we actually created, and the starting price for this was $100,000 initially. We then had a light plan that was only 30,000 for the year. And we loved serving those people. They have, they were already making $1 million or more in their coaching business. So they needed an app. We were able to create it for them. They just kind of hit that certain point where they wanted custom branded stuff. They wanted their own colors and logos and everything on there, which is great. But let me tell you that you do not need a logo to launch, because a lot of people get stuck on their logo, not having their logo, and that's why they haven't launched. Um, so uh, for that reason, we have a platform we call Tribe Social, and we've just made it available to you guys. So you can basically use this for absolute fraction of the cost. And I'll tell you, it is all the same features of what like our $100,000 product does as far as the features and all that. So I'm gonna walk through it real quick for you. Is an app. It's called Tribe Social. You guys are going to download it and to jump on this community. But essentially, you'll be able to add your own custom private group on there. You can put your own logo on the group and have your own space where you can do coaching and all that. We've also included resources like courses and things like that to our community. And then we do live coaching as well in the program. So again, this is for these people. You get to you get a web app, iPhone app, Android app. You can host all these calls, stay connected using the community there. So it's all kind of in one. Like before, you'd have to use a Facebook group and a Zoom room and all these things to tie together and an email. Now, like you can put it in one platform, one tool, and you can actually host the calls in there. People can join the call live um, inside the community and participate in there. And so it also creates distraction-free learning platform. So it's not Facebook is there with like a million distractions. Like you go in there to check one thing, and 30 minutes later you look up and you're like, what? Why am I reading this blog post about cats playing, with a ball yarn? I don't know, something silly. If you're like, this is not a good use of my time. So Facebook is there to help distract you and keep you on their platform. This obviously is distraction free. It's like we're here to learn. Bunch of features. You guys can check it out. You can also go when you go to the platform here. This is the platform here. It's Tribe. If I back out of it, you can see some of our group have started to create groups on here. We have our creators group, which is our free community, and we have another one, which is Pioneers. This is our paid coaching here. So we'll drop this link in a minute. Said we've included all the course stuff. All those 4 weeks, we've broken down all those steps into courses. We've also taken one of our clients and friends now and a mentor, Pedro Deo. We've pulled all of his challenge secrets into this because I think he has the best challenge secrets, like as far as launching a challenge in an online event. He's known worldwide for this. And so we were able to pull his course in. So you get that entire $1,000 course for free. And we also have him coming on once a month to do a hot seat with him personally jumping on. So if you got questions, like you can get answered as well there. So we've included all this stuff, access. Like I said, I'm there every Tuesday to help train you guys, answer your questions, do hot seats. I'm carved out a good portion of my week to focus on this and to help you guys grow throughout the week. So that's our focus, all the stuff here. And you guys can get started. It's one-time payment of $4.95 to jump into the community for a month. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So here's what we said. It's like, I know this course is insanely good. I know it's insanely cool, great value for money. But I know you guys maybe just met us. Maybe you haven't bought anything like this before. I know it's scary. Like it can be scary to jump into something you don't know, and it's like money's involved. You're like, what if I lose the money? Okay, well, come in for 30 days, like 495, jump in, try it for 30 days. If you don't like it, you send us one email. We'll refund you, no questions asked, and maybe we'll help you in the future with something else. Okay, so we're just making it super easy. And then if you want to, and you're like, you know what, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life, you can jump in and buy 12 months at a huge discount. So you can save like $2,000 by just jumping in for the year, which is what most of our pioneers are doing. And then also, if not, you're like, I need a second month. Just stay on that month. We're trying to make it super easy for you guys. So we'll drop the link, Macy, if you can do that. And we'll have that for you guys to check out. Now, if you have questions, there is a place on there where you're just like, okay, this is cool. Oh, of course, check out the testimonials. There's all the people saying things about us. But you can go to the top, book a demo. There's also somewhere here. Yeah, book a free 20-minute call. So this will go to Joe, who's on our team, who we love, and he can jump on and answer any questions about this. You click here, it's totally free. Pick a time. He's got some time even tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday. So jump in and we'd love to chat with you. Or you can just go ahead and sign in and you'll get onboarded instantly and be dropped into the group. So there we go. That's it. Okay, we're gonna take some hot seat people. Hopefully that's all good. And if you guys can use your reactions, if anybody wants to go first, who's brave, who has some questions, just go ahead and use that raise your hand, and it will sort of stack it on my screen for you, and that would be awesome. While we're getting people up here, I'm going to take some quick questions here. Someone asked, will we be sending a recording? Yes, you'll get the recording of this. Go to the community group. You can see the recording of this one and all the other trainings we did back in December. That's all in that free community group. And so I will take, so see Jason here had a question. I don't know if Jason's still on here. You said, what types of products do best? What's the upfront cost of building a program like this? I know, Jason, if you don't, would you want to jump on here? Use you as a guinea. Jason's also my friend, so I'm picking on him. If you're good, you can. If not, if you're in a place where you can't talk, that's totally fine too. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if it's letting me talk or not.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Sweet. What's up?
Yeah, so I was just kind of curious because, every different type of business has its ups and downs. And so sometimes, especially in the digital space, some things work better than others. And I kind of understand a little bit better now when you were talking about try a bunch of different things and like, see what ends up working the best. And that speaks to a couple of different things in my life where I've seen things work that you've, kind of tried the same thing a couple different times and find out what works the best for your captive audience. So that's kind of what I was, uh, my question was based out of, because some things maybe I've got a skill that doesn't necessarily work as well as something else that would, right? And then also that other part of it is, you know, there's been a lot of different things that I've looked into that's got, it's okay. So as soon as you get off of the call or you get to the end, it's like, okay, we need $6,000 from you to even give you any kind of information
Yeah.
on even just keeping you engaged.
Right.
Because like
Yep.
uh your training so far has been super engaging and it's given details on even just how to break out of the mindset that we're stuck in that we can't.
Awesome.
So I think that's super beneficial.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And so as far as like which products work, that is a great thing. And this is it's interesting because we say products, but this is really like even the greater sense of the word like products, like you're having starting a business, like are you starting a service business? Like are you
Right.
starting something like what's like a pain point people have? Um, just look at the some of the timeless things. Like people always want to lose weight. They want to make more money. They want to have more time with their kids. They want to eat right. They want to, kind of pick all those things. That's kind of general, like human needs. Like and that could be something like where I know you're a musician. So if like maybe you have like a musician who's out there who's just struggling, right? And he's trying to figure out like how do I get a gig or how do I like land that position, that gig with like
Right.
legit
Right.
band. Um, and like I don't even know how to do that. I don't have the connections. I don't have any of that stuff. So if you kind of like, hey, here's how you, get yourself ready for that and or prepare yourself, essentially helping them be more successful in the thing
Right.
that they want to do already. Um, and I think if you can do that, like people already have some of these things, um, and just trying it by like announcing that it's happening,
Mm-hmm.
um, and being upfront and just talking to your friends and be like, hey, I'm doing this group thing. I'm gonna, you know, I had this breakthrough. I'm going to take an hour and just share it. If it helps anyone else, great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just put it out there. Like if you get a bunch of comments and likes and stuff, people are like, this is exactly right. Or like no one responds. That's like, even then you're like, you could cancel it before you even do it. Not saying you should,
Right.
but you get the idea. Like you can get that response very, very quickly without having to even
Mm-hmm.
go through the effort of it. But starting with those things where you're kind of helping people move like away from a pain, like, oh, I was like struggled with this addiction and now I've like broken free from that. Or hey, I'm trying to make more um I'm trying to get reach this goal and you're trying to help them get that way. So I would kind of find these core things. Um it can be I would start with something really practical that's measurable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um helping them land a gig, did they land it or not? If you're trying to, there are some people in our group that are doing things that are more faith-based and they're trying to help like people, which is absolutely needed. It's a little harder to say like, hey, did I find like perfect peace by doing this course? I mean, maybe
No
they did.
solution, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a little hard to put the numbers on it. So I would say just keep it simple when you start. And not saying there's people who've done insanely well with that type of thing, but to give yourselves the best chance of success. And these are some of the things we would help you vet, and we can chat through these things on hot seats um, in the program to help like, hey, I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking of this. Like even just getting 10, 15 people's response who are also doing it, you'll immediately leave that call and be like, well, that was a dumb idea. Or like, oh, I didn't think it was that good, but now I'm like all in, like I'm gonna do this thing. So sweet.
Would you suggest starting a social media from scratch to build this? My particular uh, position, there's a lot of people that follow me that are fans of people that I've played for.
Yeah.
Creates a really interesting thing when you start to try to offer anything because they think it's a money grab or you're
Yeah.
trying to use this to jump on something else.
Yeah. Um, I so what we have found works the best is people want to connect with people. So they're going to be really interested in connecting with Jason versus like some brand that is
Right.
your brand, if that makes sense. So
Right.
um, I would put your face on the picture. Now, if you really want to like create a bit of separation, you can create a Facebook page, create a new Instagram account, and put your still have your face there, but like name it like Jason, and then your brand next to it would be fine too. My wife Lindsay did that. She had Lindsay, and then had her podcast, which is posture there, but her posture account essentially says Lindsay Van Zale, posture podcast.
Hmm.
Um, and it's a picture of her face. So try not to like just keep it simple. People want to connect with people.
Got it.
And so I would start there. And also like, yeah, I mean, some of it we have that as well. Like, I mean, we went public on this sharing it, and there's like I'd say more than half the people on my who follow me like I would that could hold me back from ever doing anything like this because
Right.
they're from a past life, they're from a past
Right.
church, they're from a past whatever, and I'm like they're probably like making fun of me for some reason that is up in my head, but whatever. So like you gotta some of that like maybe people don't notice or care about what you're doing actually that much as much as we think.
Hmm.
So um and you can kind of navigate like I would just start somewhere, start it like very casually if you have a lot of people like that. Put some feelers like hey, this is something I was dealing with, like just kind of start offering stuff and see what the response is. Um, you know, you don't want to just go right to like, here's an offer on my
Right.
post. Be like, and also the difference is all you're doing is inviting people to a free training. On that free training is where you mention like what you want to help them with, right?
Hmm.
And what
Okay.
the product is. So it's a little bit more of a safe place. I mean, of course, we have like a wide open Zoom call. I don't know most of the people on this call. Some of them we've seen before from other programs, but who knows? Like, who knows who is signing up? So awesome. Cool. Let's go real quick to uh, Medell. Yeah, is that? Let me bring you up. Did I say your name right? Oh, you're muted. Let's just ask you to unmute. There you go. Now it should let you. There you go.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. This is wonderful. Uh, I love the people want to connect with people. I want to find out about the tribe social and how does like is that a space that hosts the communities or and does it host is it for the if you have a I don't have a course currently, but if you have a course, is it in there as well, or is this more this is for connecting? So this is for the
Yes.
connecting space.
Yeah. Yes. To all of those things. So if I didn't do a very good job of like demoing any of this, what I meant to do was show
Oh, you
you
did it great.
I show you how we're doing it. So so community, yes, connection is great. This is sort of the feed. You can see Marcella posted an hour ago. Um, Different things people are posting here. And then Sally, for example, is like posting her video that she's going to use to help invite people to her event. So she just posted it here. There's 13 people here in the group. It's a safe place. You're not putting it on Facebook, so we can get some comments and chat. And I'm going to go in and like give her feedback on that. So it's kind of a safe place, create connection. Courses, yes, you can host your courses here. These are all the things on the top here. You can turn them on and
Okay.
off. So you can turn on courses or you can have no courses. So don't. And as people go through this, different trainings here, we're just going to go. We'll be here. People can chat, leave comments, get PDFs, read up on things. So mark things as complete, and then they can see their progress through the course. Then we have replays like of each of our live calls here. People can go back and watch those. Um, Event calendar, so you can kind of see what's coming up for the event. So it's for us, it's every Tuesday. And then you can even let people connect with members here. So I could jump in with Chris and open a chat with him, and I can have a private conversation with him here if I wanted to. Uh, and it's a safe place for people to like make those connections outside of the community as well. So um, that's it. But yes, you can host your videos in there. All the hosting, unlimited users, unlimited videos. You can put all of it in that same place. And the other thing you can do is we've encouraged everybody to at least create, kind of copy what we've done here, where we have two groups. So you have a free group, which is just where you're going to host your event. Um, you can keep people in there and then have a paid group. So you can have two. And there's not really a limit to how many groups you can have. We've
Okay.
just made it open. Um, but we'd say two's probably recommended, just so you can have like one where you kind of, this is your free group, you just give stuff away for free. And we're going to keep doing this in the creators probably once a month, just sharing a little training like this to help you guys out. But once you get started, then you're definitely going to want like a lot more information faster, and you don't even know the questions to ask at this stage. So the Pioneer program is great because as soon as you're like, oh, how does Facebook ads work? Great. So glad you asked. Like, here's the video. And if you get stuck, then like share your screen, show me your Facebook ad account, and I'll give you some feedback on like what I think would work. So that's those are kind of what the two different groups are there. So
Okay, thank you so much. And then so you can host the calls and things and okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
of course, no problem. Good to have another South African on the call. Um, okay, so we'll take one or two more. You guys are welcome. We did try to keep this to an hour. So if you guys want to hop off, you're welcome. We've shared all the things we're sharing. I'm just gonna keep doing some hot seats, as long as we have people who have questions. But if you have to go, I like to keep it to an hour, and we like to respect your time. So don't feel bad if you have to jump to another call. But hang out with us if you want. Um, Cool. I'm going to jump over to the questions here again. So we have one from Jason. Let's see here. Um, I don't know if Erin Scholes is here. Let me just check. If you're, she asked a question. I'll answer it anyway in case you watch the replay. But she was just asking about, um, please speak to the difference of starting with a larger vision versus smaller one or a smaller idea. Um, she said, people may delay more than necessary, but God's timing also matters. What questions do I need to answer for what to do and pay attention? Okay, so figuring out the timing of like always starting small is recommended because it's just easier to take those baby steps. Like, hey, I want to create a group, and I'm thinking like if I had 5 to 10, moms together who all have like kids under 3, and I want to just help these 5 or 10 moms. Like start small, like in your local area, and then kind of expand it. It doesn't go the other way around. You don't want to start with like, well, I'm making a group for moms. Well, you're just one in, thousands of groups on Facebook that are for moms. So get it super specific, kind of start small and solve the problem for a very specific person. And then that will scale eventually, to be more and more useful to other people. So hopefully that answers that question. Um, Sharon Spence, I don't know if you're here. You're welcome to unmute. I don't see there's another Spencer, but you said, is YouTube still the best platform to begin? YouTube is great. YouTube is a long game. So you start YouTube, it's going to take you months and months before you get your first 100 subscribers. Okay, it just takes a long time. And I think there's some crazy stat that like 98 or 99% of people never get past that 100 subscribers. So if you're already past the 100, like congrats. It builds momentum very quickly after that. But you don't go there thinking you're going to post something and then you're going to like fill your next event by posting something up there. Hands down, the best if you're going to just do one platform, Instagram. And we've also said Instagram and TikTok together, but to be determined if TikTok is here next week. We'll see. Uh, Not to open up a whole conversation here, but those two platforms. Why? Because it's short form content. It is 15 seconds. It is 30-second little snippets. Think if you're meeting someone the first time, having a quick 30-second, 60-second interaction, much more likely than you asking them to take them to coffee and sit down with them one-on-one and chat, right? It's very intense. So when you're just starting, stick with the short form content. Um, and you want to use that like, if you've got your phone, which I'm using my phone actually right now, but you would turn it vertically and film yourself in portrait, and post that on Instagram. You can post it to Facebook Reels, stories, things like that. It's just you're going to get a ton of organic reach, um, just by posting on those platforms. So the short version is YouTube's probably not the best place to start. It's great to have and to build over time, but if you're looking to like fill this Instagram, Facebook, And those same posts, you can just copy them, and we would typically just post them on TikTok and X and a few other places as well. YouTube Shorts is also there, but also harder to figure out. I'll take one more question from this who submitted it before, and then Jason will come to you. Um, awesome. Is that, I think maybe Sharon was here. Did you have any other questions? Was that on that, Sharon? I can let you unmute if you want. Okay, cool. One going. No, thank you. Cool. Okay, so um, that is it. Let's see. Someone said like asked how to determine. This was for Linda. So how to determine which social media platform combination is best for content. Kind of answered that short form, uh, and keep it as short as possible. Don't just because they let you go 60 seconds. Don't go 60 seconds. Um, Try to get it done in 15. So we just shot a bunch of content for this week that helped promote this event. And we found that like even running ads, I had some really good ads, let me tell you guys, that no one really saw. And it was 45 seconds to 60 seconds telling our whole story of how we like launched Kingdom Messengers and all this cool stuff. And nobody watched those. I have one ad that's like, hey, it's time for you to launch an online community. I'm hosting a workshop. Click here to sign up. That's the whole ad, and that just like crushed it with like more than half of our signups came from that one video. So you're just going to kind of learn like the short form content is just going to work. People are very very distracted in 2025. So you've got a few seconds to get their attention. Go from there. So awesome. Okay, those are all the questions from that I found. It Macy, if I missed anything, just let me know. Um, Oh, yeah, we do run ads for this event. We pretty much run ads for everything. Um, and you can run ads for as little as $5 a day, $10 a day. This doesn't have to be hundreds or thousands of dollars. But we like to have ads out there to help boost things, gets more eyeballs. Especially when we're asking someone to sign up or give us their email, we just use ads to push that out. And we do teach the ads in the Pioneer program. Kind of some very simple but really effective ways to do that. So awesome. I'll bring you back on, Jason. How can I help you?
Yeah. So,
Hey, Jason and I are
but
just going to do a one-on-one session here. You guys are welcome to hang out. Nobody else is asking questions, so we're going to keep going. Let's go, man.
so on the YouTube thing, you were saying that it takes a long time to build up that organic following. What if you have a fairly substantial 10,000 plus following already?
Is it recent or is it like an older account?
It's an old account that Steph and I were thinking about rebranding into a new thing to see if there's some way to generate, because she was monetized at one point in time
Nice.
from some
Nice.
of the American Idol stuff that she had done, and I think the growth was 100% natural. She didn't pay for anything. It was literally people that were captive that wanted to see her singing.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about trying to figure out something along those lines of doing like some videos in that space. But
Yeah.
I know that's valuable because
Yeah.
people have talked about rebranding and selling those types of YouTube channels to companies.
Yeah.
But if we could use that for our benefit, it may be smart.
100%. Yeah. So that kind of doing the audit on week one, like what do we have? Well, we have these
Got
people
it.
that are following great. You can keep it that way. I would try like I would have a post. You always see these like you can go see them on YouTube. They kind of go viral, but it's like what happened to Stephanie, pick a name like,
Oh,
so it's like, oh wait, yeah, you're right. I haven't seen anything from her in a while. And then it's just a video but like, hey guys, like this is, we've been busy doing this, doing that. Keep it short, and that could be like your first kind of just get that one out of the way, and then you'll feel a little bit more like you can go back and post. Um,
right. Okay.
and then I would focus on the YouTube shorts, like same exact thing. Um, if you film a YouTube short, you can take that clip, you can post it on all the other platforms you may as well. But if you've got that, post it, keep them short, just little things that you think would be helpful. YouTube is favoring shorts, so it's going to help promote it for you
Okay.
already, and then you'll see that growth kind of start to come back
Okay.
as you kind of get back. But yeah, I think that's totally worth pursuing. And if you do, like, feel freedom to, if you eventually decide, like, I would keep it with just the same name and everything for a while, but after a couple weeks or months, you could go in and change the name to like
Yeah,
Jason and Stephanie. Like if you wanted to
right.
make it both of you, or change the picture and all that, that's totally fine as well.
Yeah,
People do
we
that all
were
the
we
time.
were gonna do like a soft launch kind of thing, and then go back and rebrand it after a couple weeks if we're
Yeah,
getting interaction with people, and there's people commenting and things like that back and forth. But I think what you were saying too about using the short form content on Facebook and Instagram has a different reach than YouTube does
yeah,
altogether, and you can always point in different
yeah.
directions, backward and forward to things. Um,
Can you what's her account's name? Sorry, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Let me. I gotta find out. Hold on. Let's see. I think it was an account she created with her best friend when she was like 15.
Okay. If you want
Let
to,
me see.
yeah, let me know if you could put it in the chat. So we could take a
Yeah.
look at but one tip I would give for you or anyone else on social, like at that audit, one thing you can do in that process is look at your account and look at what videos did really well. There's probably like 4 or 5% of your videos that did really, really well. Um, you can straight up just repost those videos, like as
Oh,
is, just
interesting.
repost them, or you can download them, edit them a little bit, and just repost them again because it clearly worked the first time. Try not to
Right.
change too much of it, but people repost stuff all the time. And also, what's going to happen organically if you just start posting now, like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, they're not chronological. Like when all
Right.
of us, and I think everybody on this call is either a millennial or older, when we all got introduced to social media, it was Facebook, and then Joe would post a picture and at this time, and then so and so would post a picture at this time, and I would see them in a feed. That is like almost a decade old. Like that doesn't happen anymore. Now
Right.
it's an algorithm that like puts whatever they think you want right at the top. And so with that, like you could post a video today that's like, and you could do it this week, quick, and just say like, just a little something from your phone, like you got right now, and just be like, she can give an update or like, hey, this is what's been going on. Post the video, no editing, no music, just put it out there like raw. Um, and then someone will see that, and then YouTube's gonna be like, oh, they watched this video from Stephanie. I'm also gonna show this popular video that she posted 5 years ago in that person's feed. So it's gonna do the work for you a little bit,
Gotcha.
but you can also help it along by just like picking those things that you really want to highlight. And that's the thing is like don't overthink the posting. Um, you can post once or twice a day. I'm currently trying to maintain daily, 5 days a week, and eventually we're gonna hopefully get to 2 days a week. But it's challenging to try to come up with with different content, but
Yeah.
keep it super short. It could be we had one person in our other coaching program who said like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but God loves you. That was the whole post. Got like 10,000 views. Like that's all it was. It was just that one post that she posted out there and she had like 100 people following her, but she got like 10,000 views on that video
Oh well.
and it was 7 seconds long. So don't like don't overthink it. Like we want to be like, here's my 3 reasons why like you should
Right.
do this. Like no, just be like,
It's
you know,
just interaction.
and it could literally be like, here's a fun recipe I tried today. Hey, here's how to like play this song on the guitar. Here's how to do this thing on, whatever. It could be just very random. Uh, and all these platforms will filter the content and get it to the right people. Okay, so you don't have to
Interesting.
be like, oh well, Monday I posted part one and Tuesday I posted part two, and yeah, like we kind of think of it like that, but it's you kind of have to break out of that. It's going to be totally organic and random. So
Okay.
cool.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm gonna click super quick because you did send the link. So this is awesome. So she's got content, videos, popular. Great. This one has 66,000 views. Sorry, not million, but it says want to be a millionaire. So 30. So these are great. Like, so what's really interesting about these is, so this was 13 years ago, which is crazy. If you can, I would like super easy idea here is like obviously people know who American Idol is, or what that is. It's recognizable. So if you took a clip from this or from something else, um, is that 8 seconds? I don't know. But if she had a clip from her performing there, she could just literally be like looking at it or like showing a reaction video. You've seen those reaction videos, or it's like the fake green screen where she's just like looking at it because it's like it's an older video, but it could be like her reacting to watching that or something. So there's lots of little things you could do like that to kind of bring it, make it back to something that's fresh, I guess. So cool, but definitely use that. Sweet, awesome. And then we'll go to, is it Shad? Take that question. How are you doing? Oh, let me. I think I have to let you. There you go. Try now.
I think better. It works better when it's unmuted. Yeah, how you doing, Bruce? Good to see you. So I'm actually Shad from Montreal, Quebec. I speak French, and
Nice.
I just want to thank you for this powerful content, and also a member of your tribe because I
Okay.
purchased a program some time ago. I mean, a couple of years ago about the Kingdom Messenger, and I love it.
Yes. Awesome.
So my question is, first of all, I have an audience. I have a following on Instagram, but I don't like Instagram. I mean, when I say I don't like, it's just not like Facebook. I don't use Instagram, but recently I've been hearing that you have to go on Instagram. You have to go on Instagram. It's better to go on Instagram, but I don't really know how to do that and where to go. I have around 5,000 people. I don't even know how I got that, but yeah. So how do I use it? And then I'm ready to launch
Yeah.
a program, how to help expert and professional reach or get their first $1,000 online. And I want to know how I can quickly launch that and turn it as a community.
Awesome. That's great. Um, Okay, so you don't have to like all the platforms. I honestly not a huge fan of Instagram or consumer. I actually try to stay off of those Instagram mainly because of Reels, and all of us have gotten to the doom like scrolling, where you just scroll for like an hour in the evening, and you're like, what even happened with my life? So I don't have Instagram on my phone. I don't have Facebook on my phone. I love X. Like Twitter is like where I'm on there all the time. So I picked that. That's where I write stuff. That's where I post. We have a tool that I would recommend. We're still testing it a little bit, but it's been recommended by some people that I trust called Social. I'll just drop a link if you guys want. There's a bunch of these out there. This one it just works. It's very simple. It's pretty cost effective. I think it's like $20 a month. But you would upload the video once and then it would just distribute it everywhere, right? So it's just like you check the box for TikTok, check the box for Instagram. You wanted to go to Threads, like I'm not on Threads right now, but my sister-in-law is crushing it on Threads. Like she posts things, she gets thousands of views on a brand new account. Um, she's helping people with like interior design for their offices, and so it's I was like, I saw what she was doing. I was like, oh, I guess, and now I could, we're going to add it. I'm just going to check the box to Threads when we post everything. It'll just also post over there. So that's the one thing is like, you don't have to be actively on all these platforms um, to be engaging and stuff or be a consumer, but your people that that want help from you probably are on these platforms. You kind of have to go where the people are, is how I would think about it. And Instagram and TikTok, they're the biggest by far, and they all favor video. And so, and because it's like the same type of format, it's the same post that goes to all the platforms. It's not like you have to make content for each one, so it does get a little easier. Remind me your second question. You're just asking about, you're saying you're ready to launch, and what was the specific question?
Yeah, the specific question was basically because of the content of it's more of helping not specifically Christians, but I don't really know. I know you have a faith-based background. So how do you transition? So how do you reach people? Who do you reach? How do you filter the audience? How do you make sure that you can reach the maximum of people, even though you have something that is faith-based at the background?
Yeah, that's a good. So the algorithms will kind of help with that. So if you speak, um, so if you post something about any topic you don't like, right? Post something, that person's gonna scroll, even if I followed you and you posted something that I wasn't interested in, um, I will see it and glance and scroll on past. And Facebook takes that as like, oh, Bruce is not interested in your content, and so it doesn't really show more of that content. So it can be, it doesn't have to be like I have to go and actively like it or comment. I can just, depending on how long I look at the reel, how long I look at these things, it could immediately just kind of help. So if you're scrolling Instagram Reels and you scroll and like most, I think that the average time is people take about 3 seconds to decide if they're going to watch the rest of the reel. Like all you're trying to do in the first 3 seconds is get people to watch the next 10 seconds of the reel and then finish the reel. It's kind of sad. That's where we're at right now. But 3 seconds, so and you do this as well. Like you see it and you're like, oh, I'm not interested. Oh, that's the thing about this. I'm interested, and you just swipe up really quick. So that's training the algorithm specifically for you on how. So all that to say, put that the content and have like a really strong hook with the problem right up front. Like are you afraid of launching an online community? Like, oh, okay, yeah, because I haven't started one because I'm afraid of this or that. Or, are you struggling with this? Or like, or do you like, and you can do it without sounding like a cheesy ad, right? But you can ask a question, just be very normal, like tell your story. Your story is very powerful to just share. Um, you know, this is how I went from, uh, you know, some type of loss situation. Like, hey, this is how I recovered from losing my job and found, this new skill that has helped me, is my new career or whatever. Or here's how I learned to write code in, the last 6 months or whatever this new skill you've learned. Just bring people along, be very clear and upfront in those first few seconds. It will filter to the right people. And I think if people who are following you see something that's faith-based or vice versa, um, you just don't want to not say anything faith-based, and then when they show up at the event, then you're like all in, like you just set people's expectations right, and I think that'll be good.
So what you mean is that even though you have a hook like this is how XYZ, in within your content, you have to talk about faith, or you have to, at least you have to show that this is where you're going to. Is that what you
If
mean?
you, yeah, if you want, again, this is kind of figuring out who the audience is, like drawing those kind of circles of like, okay, I'm talking to people who are in business. I'm talking to people who are like faith-based business. I'm talking to people who are like own their own agency or own their own business. Are they a founder? Do they have 5 team members? Are they, what's the size of the business? Like you can keep getting really, really specific. So once you figure out who that is, if that does include faith, then just include it as part of your message, and kind of highlight it. Uh, and you can always decide, like for the faith side, I have friends who are overtly Christian on all their stuff in the headline of everything. It's Christian. I have friends that are like, so it's like overtly Christian and people that are like covertly Christian. So they are awesome believers themselves, but their business is not overtly Christian. And that's fine. Both of those work really, really well. Um, so one of the guys, great example, Sean Cannell. If you watch him on YouTube, you should all follow him on YouTube. He's a great guy, awesome sold out believer, but doesn't say anything about. I mean, he does have podcasts and things where he'll share that, but that's not like his thing he's leading with. Which I think you can be people of faith and still be cool and not like just stick a fish on all your dry cleaning company. You don't, that's like, oh no, we're like a Christian dry cleaning company.
Yeah.
Some of it's just like, no, we're just dry cleaning. So
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
sure,
If you may, I have a last question,
sure,
and it's more about a haha moment I had about when you said you may have a book that is not yet finished
yeah,
written, but you don't need to wait for the book to
yes,
be ready. So indeed, I have a book that I've almost finished writing,
yeah. I bet
but
there's
I
more
was
than one person on this call who has almost written a book, including myself.
I mean, I've written
We're
even
almost
five.
finished writing a book. Yeah.
But yeah, I
Um,
was waiting for the book to be finished and
yeah.
then get ready to go out.
So
But now I realized that the past 2 weeks I've been speaking to people and referring to the book, telling them I'm writing a book. And then this
yeah.
book is called, the title is called Wait. It's a
Hmm.
faith-based, content
Yeah.
book, but it's called Wait. And I realized I'm using the content already to
Yes.
inspire and to help people. So it really resonated with me. So what do you think in that case we should do? We have
Great.
these books. How do we go about that?
Yeah. Great question. I'm sure, like I said, a lot of people here almost have a book written. We have someone in our group who's has a book she's been writing. She's almost finished it. She's in the editing process. Um, so this is my thoughts for her. We shared 2 days ago on Tuesday. Um, Sell the book. Like sell the book this week. Go to Canva, make a cover if you don't have a cover yet. Put the title. Like just get a cover. It doesn't have to be the one that you print finally, but just get something out there and sell it for $27, $47. Sell it for something like the price of a book plus, and then add again. This is creating like an offer for people. Like create a community that's like early access to like unreleased versions of the book. So like you meet a friend in a coffee shop, you can add them to this group, and then you just and then I know this is it's going to stretch you guys, but this is what we're going to try to help you with. Is like go ahead and share like the first 3 chapters of the book, unedited, not beautiful, give it to them. People can kind of check it out. Um, I've seen people do this for books and they build a community or while they're built. And so by the time the book comes out, like it's already got one, it's been like reviewed and edited and all this stuff by all these different people for free. So just think of it like they're going to pay you money and then they're going to help you edit the book and give you feedback. So like it's win-win for them and they're going to
Yeah.
meet people. If it's a specific book, they'll make friends that are in that group. So you're going to create value just by pulling those unique people together. Um, so they can find like-minded people, uh, you know, that they can connect with. So that's what I would sell the book, and then as soon as you get the book, you get into this community, and you can start that way. Just with a, and that can be your sort of free. We say free group, but it could be your low ticket offer. So if it's less than $100, that could be your entry point. And then as you progress, you can kind of like you could then sell, hey, I'm going to do like a 30-day or 60-day or 90-day in boot camp intensive where we're going to dive deep into the book, and that's going to be $500 or it's going to be 300, whatever, pick a time for that. Um, so that's why I encourage me, because if you put that out there and like one person bought your book, like that book's going to get finished so much faster. I guarantee it. Because now you're like, oh, someone just paid for
Yeah.
this. Like now I got pressure, right? Like creatives, all of us, and I'm one of these as well. Like unless we have pressure, like I told Macy, I was like, we're like, oh, we're going to do another workshop. Let's pick a Thursday. Macy picked next Thursday, and here we are this Thursday because I said I was like, let's just do it this Thursday and next Thursday. We're gonna do it twice. But magically, like everything sort of we figured out the ads, we figured out all the stuff in half the time, and it'll still be good. But just put that deadline, put that thing out there. Like if someone paid you for the book, um, just put it. It'll create some incentive to deliver, and then you can show up once a week, go live in the group. Hey guys, like this, just finished this chapter. I just put the as the PDF. Would you guys love giving me feedback? Or hey, I'm thinking of telling the story in the book. Can you give me feedback on what is resonating with you? And then people feel like they're like helping you now write this book, and they feel like some ownership in it. Um, so anyway, that
Yeah.
was a strategy for that. Hopefully
Thank,
that
thank you.
helped someone else as well.
Yeah,
Sweet. Good
thank you
question.
very much. Thank you very
Yeah,
much. And by the way, your ads was great. That's why I'm here today.
perfect. I'm glad it worked. And was it like, I think you probably saw like the short one as well.
Yeah, I think it was less than 20 seconds, something like that, very short.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Nice. Well, that's good. If you guys have any questions, you can email us. Any of the emails you received from us, you can just reply to. Check out tribesocial.io. If you guys are interested, book a call with Joe, and we'd love to chat with you. And yeah, hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week. Hope this is inspiring. Go and crush it in 2025, launching your communities. And all I ask is like report back to us. Like if you guys do like some of you guys launch your thing, like just email us and tell us like, hey, I launched and I did this thing and I sold these books. Like we just would love to hear from you guys. Like that would be exciting to hear. So